Now, Namibia is set to host the 4th annual Namibia Institutional Investors Forum 2025, taking place from March 6th to 7th in Swakopmund. This highly anticipated gathering will bring together industry leaders, including pension funds, asset managers, development finance institutions, as well as policymakers. Now, the focus is exploring innovative investment strategies, driving sustainable growth and integrating ESG principles into institutional investments. Joining us to talk about this via Zoom is Michael Ndinisa, founder and CEO of MNCapital Group, an organization that has been instrumental in connecting investors across Africa, fostering collaboration and shaping conversations that drive economic transformation. Michael, good evening and thank you so much for joining us here on the Daily Roundup.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Now, the Namibia Institutional Investors Forum has become a key event in the financial sector. What was the vision behind its creation and why is it such an important platform for Namibia's investment landscape?
Look, I think the most important part that people need to understand, we want to bring a high-level discussion in the room. So we want to bring in all your industry thought leaders. We want to bring in your pension funds, asset managers, DFs. In the room today, we had the Development Bank of Namibia, we had the IPF, we had Namibia CEO, and we had various investment professionals with the focus of obviously bringing everyone together to foster discussions around alternative investment strategies for Namibia, boosting Namibia's investment landscape. I think the whole idea is to really look at long-term financial stability for Namibia, and where Namibia is lacking, we discuss those issues and we talk in one room.
This year's theme, Michael, focuses on sustainable investing and ESG integration. How do you see these factors shaping the future of institutional investments in Namibia as well as, across Africa?
We need to understand something. ESG is no longer just a talk. It's now essential. Every investor that you will talk to out there wants to see that you are applying ESG principles. Across the continent, across the globe, everyone is talking impact investing, responsible investing. So ESG is critical in driving the growth of investments in the country. Namibia, if you look at the landscape of Namibia, everything that we're doing now, hydrogen, infrastructure, we have to adhere to the principles of ESG for us to realize a long-term growth, sustained growth, which is what we're looking at. So when we're talking ESG, we're not only wanting to become our investments, but we're talking sustainable investment, long-term and long-term focused investments, which is what is important. It's no longer just a talk. It is now very essential that we talk ESG on all investment aspects.
MNCapital Group has, played a significant role in connecting investors across the continent. Given today's evolving economic landscape, what unique opportunities exist for Namibian investors, Michael?
I think one that stands out for Namibian investors, and it's called the town, is obviously hydrogen. Or, if you put it probably across hydrogen, renewable energy. I think everyone is looking at an opportunity in the hydrogen, the renewable energy space. In Namibia, you've got vast land, you've got a high heat of sun as well to look into renewable energy. I think another one is infrastructure development, particularly within the roads, energy, and I think housing is also coming in very strong. Another one is private equity, alternative investments, which is obviously gaining traction across the continent itself. So if we're looking at private equity and we're also looking at alternative investments, I think that's what we will be a standout in Namibia. So I'll say renewable energy, and I'll say private equity and alternative investment.
Asset allocation and portfolio diversification are also key topics at this year's forum. But in an uncertain, global economy, what advice would you give to institutional investors on balancing their risk and returns?
It's a tough one, but I think it's easy to say with the rising global uncertainties, such as market volatility, geopolitical risk, inflation, and diversification is obviously going to be a key issue. that we need to look at. So as for institutional investors will be, number one, maybe let's balance traditional asset classes. There's bonds, equities, real estate. I'm trying to think as well. What alternative investments probably would be interesting? I'll say private equity, like I had mentioned, infrastructure and green investments. I think green investments will also play a vital role. And beyond the borders is something that I think local asset owners, institutional investors should be looking to. While there's opportunities in Namibia, maybe regional investment opportunities in Africa could also provide huge returns. And also leveraging, obviously, on active money strategies to mitigate risk and optimize returns in the volatile markets. I think it's critical to look at balancing traditional assets. So those bonds, those equities, and real estate.
Michael, technology is rapidly changing the investment space as well. So how do you see, fintech, blockchain, and digital transformation influencing institutional investment strategies?
For Namibia, we spoke about it at large at the conference today. So digital assets and technology-driven solutions can increase hugely market efficiency. We can reduce transactional costs, open up new investment opportunities, and we can also, institutional investors must embrace the innovation to stay competitive. If you look at the global world, they are embracing fintech. There's a lot that fintech solutions can do to improve financial markets. There's a lot that blockchain can do, for transparency and security to transactions. And AI is big now. I mean, everything that we're talking and we're doing now is AI-driven. So I would say that, AI-driven investment platforms can also enhance decision-making. So we need to really get closer to technology and embrace as the new change and the new norm, so that we can capitalize on our investments.
Regulation, remains a critical factor for investors. So in your experience, what regulatory improvements could help boost investor confidence in Namibia?
I think I'll say foster approval for investment projects and incentivize for ESG and impact investment. There's a lot that's going on around ESG. The regulator needs to really start looking at greater regulatory clarity on alternative investments, digital assets, incentivizing people who are looking hard at ESG and impact investing. So there's a strong regulatory framework which is vital, obviously, for attracting and retaining investments in Namibia. So we need to start looking at the greater clarity on alternative investments. I think clear, a consistent, and a forward-looking regulatory or regulations within Namibia can improve and attract more investments into the country, and we can be a destination looked at for investments in the continent.
Just lastly, Michael, as the forum wraps up, what key takeaways do you hope attendees will leave with, and how can Namibians leverage these insights to drive long-term financial security?
I think my biggest takeaway for this year's event, we're talking to a lot of people, will be get a very clear roadmap for sustainable investing. What is sustainable investing? Let's understand sustainable investing. Let's be clear about what it means. And another key factor which I saw today was a strong action for regional and international investors relationship. It's clear that people want to connect. They want to share investment opportunities. So co-investing, I saw a lot of people talking to the GIPF. Capricorn was talking a lot with TBN. So I think it's interesting to see those discussions on co-investing, which is my interest in today's event. Let's talk about practical strategies to enhance portfolio resilience. Let's not come into this event and have a talk show, but let's practical about co-investments, understanding what sustainable investing is, and a very clear approach to connections, regional and locally. That's what I want for Namibia. And I think it's something that everyone in the room is also looking forward to.
Mr. Michael Ndinisa, thank you so much for your time this evening. Enjoy the coast. It was lovely having you with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time as well.